And an accent for me, for many years, was at times a complicated issue to make people understand what I was trying to say. So I hope today you will understand me slightly better, thanks to everything I've been learning over the last 23 years since I arrived in America. I'm not going to lie to you. Time magazine put me last year in the 100 men's most influential, and still I don't understand why. 60 Minutes did a profile, and I'm not telling this just to brag about me. I'm still very thankful that those things happen. But what I want to tell you here today, and I don't tell this every day, is that I never graduated from high school. I barely finished the second year. I never had the chance to go to university. I'm not going to be sharing my private life with you. We can do it after. But the truth is that life sometimes takes you through a fascinating trip. That sometimes you control the destiny, but sometimes you don't. Me, I'm a guy that I don't try to fight destiny. I just follow destiny. So, trying to be always away from my home. I joined the Spanish Navy, and I arrived to American shore like I was a Spanish conquistador in the 80s. I arrived Pensacola, I arrived Norfolk, but a moment that really, to a degree, changed my life was when I arrived to New York, because I was sailing in a sail ship from the Spanish Navy called Juan Sebastián del Cano, the first man that circumnavigated the world. And the ship was magnificent. It was 4 masts, 300 crew, an unbelievable way to arrive to America. For a second I felt I was coming home 500 years later. I'm only telling you this because me arriving to America changed my life in more ways than one. I came back to America 3 years later, but the first time I had a contact with America besides movies and NBA, which I would leave my home at night to go to a bar without my mother and father knowing, only to watch NBA games. Saving money, I don't know how, used to pay the entrance to the bar, which probably was illegal, and trying to understand what the commentator was saying about the game. Speaking English and talking about the great teams of the time. One of the things that changed my life is that around I'm a cook. I'm not a computer geek. All of that in Spanish. What he was trying to tell me was not that he was afraid of computers. What he was trying to tell me was he was able to understand what the chef was telling him by voice. But in that single moment I realized that he was not able to read what the computer was telling him to do. And it took me more than a day. I took him on my side, I took him personally, and I showed him the 8 words that he had to be learning to understand what the computer was telling him to do. And I asked him, please work with me 1 full day. If after 1 day you feel this doesn't work for you, I will move the computers away forever. He looked at me in the eyes and said, you know, Chef, I would love to understand what the computer is telling me. So thank you for helping me understand these 8 words. 48 hours later, Jose came to me and told me, Chef, wow, my life today at the grill has been the best moments of my life. I've never been more organized. I've never been more aware of what anyone needed from me. I've never been more in control of who I am. And this was only through me teaching him and understanding 8 words. 8. Thanks to that moment, I changed all my restaurants to computers. More often than not, with people that English was not their first language. At that moment, I understood the value of literacy. At that moment, I understood the value that the power of the words was the most powerful gift I could give any one of my employees. I understood that I will be better, but they will be better if we were able to manage for them to understand the value of words. So that's why I'm thanking you in this 50th anniversary for doing what you've been doing. I am an immigrant. I know where I come from, but also I know where I belong. And the power that understanding the words and the power of the meaning of the words has given me to succeed, to help my family, to help workers, to help employees, to help anyone that was in need of help through the power of words, make me meaningful. And at the end, every one of us in this room has this power to change the life of people through the power of one word at a time. If we are able to do this every day, we know that not only America but the world will be a better place. So just to end, the book is only talking to you. This is a very beautiful encounter. You have somebody talking to you one-on-one. Sometimes when you feel alone in the world, opening a book is what gives you the opportunity to have one person only talking to you. No anybody else. Just one person almost telling you a history one-on-one. And to me, John Steinbeck spoke to me and told me about life and told me about everything that was happening somewhere in the middle of Latin America, where us, the white men, were taking advantage of the poor people somewhere in Latin America. And where, I don't know if you read the book, where music showed up. Music was present. It was the music of good, the music of family, the music of health, the music of death. And I was fascinated how Steinbeck was able to pass me all that kind of magic. One word at a time, one phrase at a time, one page at a time, one chapter at a time. So that book changed my life in more ways than one, because as I told you, when I fell in love with Steinbeck, but somehow I began understanding the meaning of books, because that was the really first book in my life that really touched my heart. And I believe that words, when they touch your heart, is when they are really meaningful.